Hello world, how everybody doing out there? Hopefully everybody doing sensational. Welcome to another episode of Generational Health and Self-Love. I'm your host, Life.
Ron Easy here. And today, guys, we're doing a new little video. It's 5 signs that you're stuck in a low vibration. Alright? So, we just gonna hit it off right off and just get into the first one.
Definitely, I'm ready to get into it. Let's see what we got here for the viewers out here. Okay, well the first one being that I guess the first one being that you're blaming everyone. No one wants to take accountability for the reasons why they're in the mind state or the situation that they're currently in, dealing with different issues and stuff like that. A lot of times we like to blame others instead of looking into the mirror and taking accountability for the things that we have let occur in our own life, and stop blaming others for where we're at and not where we want to be.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And a better way for y'all to see what he means is a real life experience is like when you're talking with a friend, or you're talking with a friend is talking about somebody else they know, and you start to see a certain pattern of them just saying, oh, this person did that person did that. And you know, when a certain person is always having the same problems with different people, you gotta start looking at the constant variable, and it's usually that person. So when you get in situations like that, just be mindful of what's going on, and if that person or you might be in that low vibration.
Definitely. And another thing, like being in relationships, so like a lot of times we have back and forth with whoever we're in relationships with, and we consistently blame them for whatever we're dealing with, not taking accountability. Number one being that we chose to be with that person, and we chose to be in that relationship for however long that we're in that relationship. At any point, we could turn around and leave that relationship. So if you're not happy and you're in a relationship for a long period of time and you constantly find yourself unhappy, then you have to say, hey, look, I have all the power to leave this relationship. I do not have to be here and continue to blame this person for my unhappiness. So always look at yourself and figure out the strength that you already have within to do what's right to make you happy no matter what.
Dude, yeah, that's actually kind of a big one, because you know, a lot of people, when they're stuck in a negative relationship, they always have a tendency to say this person, and after so much time has passed, you start to wonder, well, if they doing so much, what is keeping you there? You know, you start to wonder, like, why are you still in that same situation a year or two later? So you got to start to think, like, maybe you are your own problem for not getting away from that environment and choosing to do better for yourself.
Definitely.
But number two, somebody he's getting easily triggered. If you run into a person, or you yourself are a person who is getting easily triggered to little things, and you notice that you have like a tendency to pop off just for like little small stuff, and sometimes we don't notice, but sometimes we do, because it'd be situations where you might be talking to somebody, or really, I think it really happens most with family. Your family member, sister, sibling, dad, mom, anybody could say something or mention anything, and even if they might be wrong, sometimes just a little thing can tick you off, and now you got a little attitude, or you like, ooh, like you got a quick temper, and you say something back to them, and you sometimes we don't, but we should ask ourselves, why did I just react like that? Or why did I have that fast reaction to getting mad at what they said, even though it really wasn't that big of a deal?
Yeah, definitely. For instance, just like me and you have a little talk last night, actually. And,
yes.
One thing in that conversation, I took accountability because I did say something in the beginning of the conversation that may have came off a little aggressive, even though that wasn't my intention. So the one thing I did say was, hey, I shouldn't have said that, because it did sound like I was kind of, shooting a shot at you. So I should have started off the conversation a little different, and that goes back to number one, taking accountability for something that I said, and then me and you having a discussion without it blowing up and saying, hey, look, one thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk and we're going to have conversations where we can respect each other's opinion and not be upset. So that definitely is a perfect example of having a conversation, taking accountability, and also not allowing me or you to get upset in the conversation just because as men, not just because you my son, I'm your father, and I'm looking at you like, y'all listen to me. No, you still a man, and it's still a way that we supposed to talk to each other. And I think sometimes as parents, we take the parent role that we have in relationships with our children, and we use that to be able to think that we can talk any kind of way. And that's just not true. Talk to someone the same way you want someone to talk to you, regardless of what role you play in their life. So just us talking about this made me think about that conversation we had last night. Neither one of us popped off, got upset, got attitudes. And you see a lot of people, like if there had been someone else, now, like neither one of us, but if we was just watching someone else have that same conversation, somebody would have got mad, somebody would have got upset.
Right.
It would have went a whole nother direction.
Yeah, and it was, like you said, when we was talking the other day, it was you being sarcastic like you usually do sometimes, but the only thing was it was after that it was leading to an actual conversation that you wanted to have. So
a more serious conversation.
Yeah, a serious conversation. So starting off with that and then going into the serious, it just wasn't like the greatest combo. And but
in the beginning,
but we still had to talk and it was still cool, obviously. But
yeah,
I see what you're saying now, but I understand the whole thing. Did you have anything to touch on though with the trigger thing?
Well, a lot of things that people like I said, that could have triggered someone just because we don't really know how to talk. I think like for the most part, we are very emotional people. So someone can say something and not even have no real harm or behind the words, but just because we've been in so many conversations that's toxic, we always assume people are attacking us with their words when that's not always the case. So it's always to do inventory on yourself, so that way when you do have conversations with people, you don't take everything personal, and you don't always assume that someone is talking down on you or trying to ignite a fuse within you. Sometimes it just be our own guilt because of something that we might be going through that don't even have nothing to do with this person or the conversation. So I think the best thing in those conversations is to think before you actually react, before you actually speak. Think and come to some type of real conclusion before you speak, and speak with love. Let love guide you in your conversation, and I think that you'll be all right in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
We at number 3, and number 3 is someone who's basically mad and negative daily. You know, if you go to some of their social media, or if you're someone that you're in contact with who just, they got a headache, somebody says something to them at work, something wrong with their car. It's just always something. Someone who's just constantly mad. And a person like that, they don't even see that. It's always someone on the outside looking in who can see them clearer than they can actually see themselves. But that has become a way of life for them, to be mad, to be negative daily. And those are the people that you want to stay away from. And if you have a chance or opportunity to actually have a conversation and maybe talk to them, maybe you can say something that might spark something within themselves to make them want to get out of that attitude, that constant negativity. But if not, move around, get distance, and keep yourself away from people like that.
Yeah, that's what you would call a negative Nancy.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's step into number 4. Number 4 is feeling stuck or unmotivated. And yes, sometimes in life, people feel, or you may feel like you don't know what you want to do or where you want to go. But it's a different thing when you feel stuck and unmotivated. It's like when you wake up and you don't want to do anything. You could be working towards getting doing a daily routine or doing a schedule, but you wake up and you decide, let's get on the phone, or you get on just a bunch of random stuff, and you're not doing anything to further improve what you're trying to do in the future, and or you don't like want to go out and just experience things that'll help you for your future.
Definitely, I agree with that. Being just stuck, wake up to do something, but don't even get out the bed. Just lay in the bed, get on your phone, stroll through social media, and just forget about the things that you had planned prior to that morning. So definitely, if you're one of those type of people, get you a daily planner, get you something, or get you at least 1 or 2 things that you know you're going to consistently do, and those things can probably help motivate you to do other things for sure.
And number five
Number five
is negative relationships. Usually, a lot of times, the people you hang around are a reflection of what you got going on inside you and who you are and what you're doing on the inside. Because when you become or how you act shows and attracts the same people that you're like, it's like manifesting, or like
it's like a magnet. You bring that towards you. If whatever you're feeling inside, you attract it on the outside.
Right. So, and if you see other people who have the friend group where they always doing some toxic stuff. I know everybody knows some toxic friends. People who just always talk about negative stuff. They arguing. They telling you to do different random stuff that's never gonna benefit you. And they just, and sometimes you might have somebody in that friend group that asks for some advice, and the advice you get from that group of toxic people is never gonna actually help. But also people who kind of like what you were saying earlier, when you have something that you want to do, or you present it to people like that, it's usually gonna get a negative outcome of asking them or
you tell them something, and they don't want to. They try to like really give you like a negative feedback on your idea, but they always got the plan, or they always know something that maybe you should be doing, versus saying, you know what, that might work, or that might be good. Those a lot of times, some of your friends don't want to see you achieve anything. Some of them want you to stay right where you're at, just because some people just like the spotlight, and some people don't want to see you shine. So
yeah, that's a whole another topic. But that is the 5 things, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 things. So we gonna get back at y'all with another video coming soon. But for now,
peace and love, and don't be that negative person in the group.
Don't be that negative person,
please.